Hi, folks.
Hello.
Um,
We are Two Left Feet.
we are Two Left Feet.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Ellie. I was just trying to remember the
name?
slogan.
Oh.
I'm Lewis. That's not the slogan. Just wanted to get that clarified because I did say I was Ellie. Expert dancers, passionate lefties. I do know it.
Well, the reason you've forgotten is because...
Yeah, it's been a while since...
We've not done a video for ages.
Yeah, and we're sorry about that. We're not sorry about that.
Nah.
It
was always going to be this way.
Yeah. It's just not like a proper full-time job, is it?
We just don't care enough.
Well, no, it's just like...
yeah, it's an intermittent thing.
Yeah. We have portfolio careers.
Yes. We also, I think, we got a bit stressed with how much editing and work the old ones took. So this time we've got a new format, which is that we talk straight.
Talk straight to you. We're talking straight.
Straight talking. Minimum editing. There will be some editing. But
yeah.
we've just reformulated it a little bit at our end, which is not very interesting for you. But there you go.
But that's just why it's been a bit of a while. Yeah. I think we had peaked with our rapidity of content production at the beginning. And then there was
episodes.
like a long...
Oh, 3.
Well, 3 within a month, or within 2 months. And then there was a big slope downwards.
They don't care.
I just think it's important to mention. Like, just at least to kind of temper the, that was lots of stuff in a short space of time. Then this is the only one in a long time since. And it's probably, it might be a long time before the next one. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick about it. I'm just saying.
But we're not sorry.
Yeah, we're not sorry. We're just, make you aware.
So this week, we've decided to talk about the word opportunities, which we'll kind of cover generally, but also we will talk about it in regards to a specific case study.
Which is...
Here we go.
Let's not say what that case study is.
Cut.
What is it going to be?
Yeah, we want to talk about opportunities, and we thought it would be a really good opportunity for us to talk about this sort of situation that Wayne McGregor has created for himself recently, which has been flying around on social media. For those of you who don't live under rocks, you probably know what we're talking about. But essentially, the Venice Biennale, which has a kind of dance strand to it, which Wayne McGregor is curator of.
Yes, let's
or
get
director of.
Facts straight. Yeah.
And there's an opportunity that is being offered by the festival and by Wayne and by the other
heavy rabbit ears.
Well, yeah, we'll get to our feelings about this later. And along with other choreographer Crystal Pite. And it's an offer of 3 months to spend time in Venice. If you are under 30, you can apply. Yeah. If you're a dancer or a choreographer. And you will be kind of taking dance class every day. You'll be making choreography if you're a choreographer. You'll be performing in other people's choreographies if you're a dancer. Wayne will be staging some work. He'll spend 10 days with this group of people. And then at the end, there'll be performances which will be in the festival. And it's sort of being advertised as a college. So it's a sort of training program. And you
You pay 80 euros to apply.
To participate, I think.
To participate.
I think so.
Okay.
I think
So
you can apply for free.
You can apply for free. Okay.
And then if you get selected, you pay 80 euros to, I don't know, cover admin costs or something.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Spending a summer in Venice would be lovely.
Yes. Accommodation paid.
Oh, I don't think so.
That's what some people have said.
We'll clarify that here.
Yeah. So basically it's the listing also says that the working arrangement will be up to 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Up to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And for dancers especially, that seems like too much work to not get paid to do. It seems like, for dancers and choreographers, anyone involved really. So the question is this a job or not? And what should the conditions be if it is a job, and how should it be altered as an experience if it's not a job? Mm-hmm. I think that's
this is I think this is like a bit of a key point, which is like the whole body of people organising this are trying to justify what we see as like unpaid work as a studying space, so a college.
Yeah.
In order to make it sound reasonable that you would pay to do it rather than be paid to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not a college. I mean, it's not affiliated to higher education. It's like
no accreditation.
Yeah, there's no kind of organisation that is facilitating this in the way that a college would. So a college would have like an application process that doesn't involve just like one person.
Yeah.
Like there would be a panel choosing you. It's not just Wayne.
And what you come out of it with.
You'd come out with some certificate. You'd have some kind of like pastoral support.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, it's not saying that all universities have fantastic support networks, but
there's at least a promise of it.
There's infrastructure. There's people that you can go and complain to if you have a complaint. There's formal processes that you can go through if there is any kind of like pastoral problems.
There's like a community of pedagogical standards, external examination, such and such and such.
So none of that is there. So then on the other hand, you might say, okay, well, it's just a dance workshop. But who on earth can afford to do a dance workshop for 3 months? And of course, there are some people who can afford to do that.
Yeah, there's loads.
But
But they're in a specific strata of society.
Yeah, so there's the way in which this opportunity just up front is exclusive. It's just there's huge. Most people won't be able to afford to do it. So that just number one is like
one thing I really like about that, like the way it's worded in relation to that, is like he says in the opportunity call out that it's about shaping the next generation of choreographers and dancers. And it's like, do you mean like as a fascist? Like, is it like you mean shaping as in like separating the poor people from the rich people?
Yeah.
Like shaping as in like eugenics shaping? Like
yeah, ensuring that only rich people get to be in that generation.
Yeah, like I guess he means it's kind of clear that his terminology leans towards this other kind of shaping, which is like nurturing the creative development of. But it, when you pair it with the material conditions of the opportunity, then it's clear that it actually does a different kind of shaping.
Yeah.
Which is about exclusivity and
And if I think about what I'd want to get out of a workshop, if I pay for a workshop, I want it to be something that I do like in my free time. So it's like I have time to do a workshop in between work. So this is like as a professional dancer.
Yeah.
I'll take a workshop because I want to be nourished by someone's work, or I want to I feel like I haven't managed to do dancing in a while or something. That's generally what I do. I feel like I haven't got off my bum because I've been doing loads of admin work or something, and I'll be like, okay, I'll do. This is pre-COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll take a workshop where I know that I'll be like immersed in moving and dancing.
Or if I've run out of things to teach.
Yes, steal other people's lessons. It's probably going to be fun. I might see some people I know.
Yeah.
Or meet new people.
Yeah.
Go to the pub in the evening and meet people in that way as well. Like find a kind of community. But
it's not to like take up an entire season of your life.
Exactly. There's a duration which is like necessary. Like it needs to be short so I can fit work around it. And also because I'm a professional, I work in that industry. Like income from dancing is my job. Yeah. There's a certain amount of dancing that I would choose to do for free or choose to pay to do. But there's a real cut-off point after like maximum a week.
Yeah.
And then at some point it's going to be like, okay, actually this is my profession. I've got to get back to like making money from it. So the idea that you would decide to do a workshop for 3 months is absurd. So it's not a college because there's no support network that a college would offer. It's not a workshop because it's too long. So all it is a job. It's a dance job.
There's also a something which is maybe not so explicitly stated, which our friend Inari was questioning, which is like, I don't know that much about Wayne McGregor, but what I know about him is hearsay about his riches, and I have seen footage of his work.
You've never seen live Wayne McGregor?
I don't think so. But what I'm trying to get at, I suppose, is that I don't think he is very concerned with the learning of young dancers for Venice Biennale. I can't back that up very much, but what I think is, what I feel in my bones is that the dancers and the choreographers will be contributing to a work which will have to impress the audiences of the Biennale. It's not about them having intrinsic professional development. I don't know that for sure. But I don't feel like it's about the learning.
Well, so I did Edge, the postgraduate company program at the Place.
Yeah.
Many years ago. And to get together a program of several pieces ready to perform takes a huge amount of time. I was lucky enough to be in Edge in a year where the director also made time for some workshops at the beginning and end, which was kind of like, really felt like it made it a course, like it made it a kind of performance course where I learned and thought about performing as a concept and how I related to it, and I developed sort of some thinking maybe in relation to my interests to performing. But to get together like multiple pieces in 3 months, there is no time for anything other than just getting the show ready to go. So you can pretty much guarantee that the learning experience is purely in the model of work experience. So the learning that you would get from shadowing someone in a professional environment.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And that is how it's billed.
An internship.
Is professional experience, which I have another qualm with, but yes, as you were saying.
Yeah, well, unpaid internships, it's no radical thought to say that those are like problematic because of, as we've said already, the fact that they just exclude anyone from that opportunity.
Yeah. It's also
who doesn't have the money to live off their own wealth. Who doesn't have the wealth to live independently.
Yeah. And also, I think something I kind of was mulling over the other day was like, what is can something be a professional experience if you don't get paid? Like, for me,
exactly.
something like, in order to be called a professional experience, in capitalism, in the particular society we live in, or maybe just full stop, it needs to have money attached to it. Like, if it's, I don't know what the definition of the word profession is, but I can find it.
We were talking about this the other day, and there's also another aspect of it, which is like, there's something about like asking professionals to take part in a project which is called a college is really contributing to this infantilization of dancers that happens sort of across the board. There's this like never-ending kind of wheel between like the way that students are expected to behave, sort of transferring into the way that professionals are expected to behave.
Yeah.
And there's, unless you start being treated like a professional, so you get paid to do what you do, and then there's a certain feeling that you get of like being valued in that way, then you can actually begin to assert yourself or like value yourself in a way that means you can actually sustain a career in dancing, if that's what you want to do, if you want it to be something that you make money from.
Yeah.
What does professional mean, Lewis?
Strictly speaking, engaged in a specified activity. Engaged in a specified activity as one's main paid occupation rather than as a pastime.
So if these people have chosen for their profession to be dancers, so you assume this is what the call-out's for people who are early professionals.
Yeah.
Then this is like not helping them.
Yeah.
I mean, early professionals as well, it's like up to 30 is not, I mean, sure, it's still
so
young,
weird,
but it's still people who potentially have had 10 years working.
Yeah,
and they're expected to go and work for free.
And if 3 months. If they're just starting their dance career, they've been in another sector, probably, and have had a different relationship to employment. And they're coming into this, I don't know, it just seems like it wouldn't even appeal to anyone unless they're rich.
And I think like there's so many more like ways in which we could sort of talk about the specifics of Wayne McGregor and like what he represents and economically like how he exists in the dance world.
Yeah.
But almost I sort of feel like the things we've already said, like there doesn't need like those extra facts about Wayne McGregor would add to why this is problematic. But even as it is, even if this was run by someone who's not a sort of the oligarch of the dance world, it would still be problematic. Like, it's important for anyone to like not be offering unpaid work experience.
And I think the counter to that is always like, isn't it better that these opportunities to dance / do work exist? Isn't that more important that people get to do stuff even if it's not paid? To which my answer is always no. It's not.
Because people should do things to do them.
Yeah, exactly.
Only a certain group of people get to do them. So you're actively, by offering up like a free opportunity or a low paid opportunity where you're like, well, it's better if like 20 people get a go than 5 people get a go. Yeah. Those 20 people will be exclusively wealthy or making huge sacrifices, which is going to compromise their mental health, their relationship to the project,
their physical health.
Their physical health, like, so you're ensuring either that it's exclusive or that you're demanding a huge amount from people, and that is actually not a positive contribution to the dance
to society in
like,
general. It's just gross.
Yeah, people
Sucks.
can dance in other ways that's going to be better for them off their own accord, rather than in your like.
Yeah, if you don't soak up all the money
your
for your
project.
stupid like exploitative projects, then people might be able to apply for public funding to do their own stuff that they actually get more out of. Arseholes. So I had a little internet chat with a couple of people about this. I kind of provoked some discussion, and a couple of people came back to me with their thoughts on it, and they are in kind of full support of this Wayne McGee Exploitation Fest. And for reasons that we've mentioned, like this is really nice for some wealthy dancers to get to do some dancing, yay. Doesn't matter about their health, is explicitly, I guess, what their position is, even if they say that or not. But the one specific point came up which I thought was worth addressing here, which was somebody said that they would be happy to pay the €80 for a dancer to do it. Obviously, that doesn't even begin to cover the costs.
Yeah,
of
that's
what's
like
involved.
already flawed. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does bring up something about like, she said that, and then she said she challenges other dance professionals who have managed to sit on some money to do the same for other dancers, basically to try and privately fund the dancer portion of this cast, not to an adequate degree. And I just thought that this gets into a broader question of like, should we have private patronage of the arts in general? Like she was saying that as if that solved the problem. I could underfund this opportunity and then everything would be fine. And I challenge others to also pay less than is adequate. Kind of backwards thinking. So yeah, I mean, obviously this gets into who are these individuals who have, taken it upon themselves to pay for the arts to exist, and what kind of art it's just down to their particular tastes, I suppose. And even if they say it's not, it definitely is. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just a small-minded suggestion of what we could, how we should have the arts existing in our society.
And it's like a little echo of the sort of broader conditions that lots of arts are privately funded, and that's problematic on that broader scale as well, in terms of like who gets access to those private funds. Generally, it's people who have connections, little foots in the door already, family or friends who are rich.
It's who you know, who you were born in proximity to.
And also those private bodies, even if they do have application processes or whatever, they're private, so their ultimate agenda is their own interests.
Yeah.
Whereas a kind of, state funding or government funding, or in this micro situation, festival funding, has got some accountability to be fair or diverse or whatever.
What do you call it? The Equal Opportunities Monitoring Form.
Yeah, there are laws that are maybe going to affect a sort of governing body to make those decisions as opposed to a private pot of money, which is just the whims of an
obviously,
individual.
That is just like so much of how the arts is anyway, isn't it? I guess you said that. But
But it's nothing is operating perfectly.
But if we can try to reduce the amount that the arts is governed by the whims of rich people, that's only for the better. And I was very surprised to see people from I thought we were all socialists in dance. Obviously, that is not true. That's very obvious. But for a moment there, in this particular online forum, I thought I was very surprised to see such a regressive standpoint on what the situation should look like.
Unfortunately, sorry, we said we'd wrap up after this, but there is something also, another sort of bigger problem which we could maybe, talk about another day, of like blanket optimism or positivity. And I would question whether but it sounds like a great opportunity. Let's just, give some money to some young people so that they can do that. That, I would argue, isn't necessarily an optimistic outlook, because for me, an optimistic outlook would be like, burn the systems down and rebuild them. But like you could, there's this sort of, I call it, I don't know if this is a word, but positivity trolling.
Yeah.
When people, or concern trolling, maybe where there's a sort of, but don't be so negative. Maybe it's actually good for some people. Or don't be so, contrary.
Yeah.
Or like, don't jump on this negative bandwagon against Wayne McGregor, because it's just that. It's just a bandwagon and it's just a trend.
Yeah.
And actually, you're not thinking about this from all the angles and actually...
Yeah. And you know what? It always just seems so fucking creepy and weird when people do that. Because it's like obvious sucking up to like people who are more powerful than them, and silencing people who have got legitimate like worries about the health of vulnerable people. It's so fucking pathetic to see someone come in and go, oh, but don't you think the rich man has got, do you think he has his own problems? The rich man who's trying to get, 20, I don't know how many dancers, shitloads of young people to work for free for 12 weeks. Don't you think he's got his own problem? It's like, he is fine without you doing that.
Well, the sad thing is that he's really fine without you, and actually any arse licking isn't going to get you anywhere, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's
like we're all
useless to you. It's useless to everyone else. It's scuppers debate. I don't know. It means you can't even get started with a debate.
But it comes from the very, very scary realisation that there isn't much logic behind these things other than like absurd abuses of power. So to try and rationalise someone's behaviour, either, Wayne must be making this decision just because he has no other options, or he's actually a bit short on money, or he's just made a mistake, or he means well. Oh my God, I literally had a brain blank.
All it means is we're
had a brain
forgiving,
blank. That's not
which
fair.
means I need to stop. Yes.
I panicked, and I really wanted to finish that thought.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
I just knew that on my
take
brain.
Over. I thought you meant take over.
I just saw this blank coming, and then I was like, "What was this?" I've just gone. I was like, I'm on weed or something.
It's the light.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. All of these excuses that you might make for the person in power, essentially, is in order that you, one, doesn't feel insane, that you might think, but there must be reasons why he's doing this. There must be reasons why there is such inequality. And it must be that the person in charge isn't being, sort of dismissive and abusive and manipulating people. It's just a mistake, or it's just a misfire. And actually the reality is, it is that there is not the care being taken at the top, and that means that you also aren't being cared for. So it's totally understandable for people to, I think it's wrong, but I understand why people try and rationalise a behaviour like this, try and rationalise why someone with so much money would decide not to pay people.
But something which is important to remember in these situations, which I also drew a blank on.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's panic. Got to breathe.
I think it's important to remember that there's something about that when, as much as it seems like it, the society is not at the behest of people in the shadows making terrible decisions for everyone. It's always just people, the people who are at the top, they're not evil people. They just always make the decisions which are in their own self-interest, which people, that's a kind of a natural thing to do. Mm-hmm. Always make the best decision for yourself. And if you don't ever learn why that was bad, or you're never taught, or you're never shown why that was bad, then you just kind of keep doing it if you don't get punished. Which is, I think, why it's really important for these people who want to say it's no big deal, stop complaining. It's important for them to just kind of step aside a little bit sometimes, because if Wayne knew more materially what he was doing to people, he might stop. But maybe I think it seems to me like the guy's just never been confronted with the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much protection around him. And also it's not about him. I think the point is, it's really important to remember that. It's like, this isn't about whether he's nice or not.
Yeah.
It's funny to talk about him not being nice, but it's kind of not the point. Maybe we always riff on these kind of individual characters.
We just see them as fair game, I think, because they're...
Yeah, but it's kind of, it is not about that. And the True Anon podcast that I am an avid listener of, this great point that they were making about, it's what you've said already, when a powerful body, whether it's government or Wayne McGregor or whatever, someone in charge takes the wrong path, or you might think makes an unfair decision, and the question often is that incompetence?
Yeah.
Or is that evil, malicious conspiring on their part to screw us all over? And it's kind of neither or. I mean...
Yeah.
It's both, actually.
Neither and both.
No, but it's not. There isn't shady meetings where people go how do we best screw the workers? I mean, maybe sometimes there are, but broadly speaking, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that certain actions are rewarded. So the actions where a company, say, ends up making a profit, whatever led to that place is going to be rewarded. So if that place is actually not paying the workers that much, and then at the end of that decision you have a lot more money, you're going to be like, oh, we did all right on that one then. And there's going to be loads of situations where incompetence, failings, sort of disorganisation, bad communication, all of this kind of thing will be rewarded by profit. Or
the bottom line, the capital production. Yeah.
So generally it's incompetence, but incompetence is being rewarded. That's
Well,
mind-blowing.
it's because the criteria for success is so small in capitalism, and it's capitalism which makes this problem. I realise now, looking at it, it's, you know, this is why people say that capitalism is the problem. It's because all that matters is the bottom line, is the amount of profit you produce. Everything else is invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the criteria for success only relates to whether the number went up.
Mm.
So the, you know, measurement of, you know, one's mental health is so far away from the equation that it doesn't ever come into it.
The bottom line could also be that you get a piece at the end. Like, just sort of bring it back to the specific example. Yeah, because people might say, well, I don't think Wayne McGregor is like taking this Biennale job for the money. And I don't know, maybe he is, but maybe he's not. But he's also looking for the most efficient way to get a show together. And in his experience, he'll have always had surplus people to work with, surplus dancers who are willing to work with him, who desperately want to work with him. And he knows that he'll have surplus people applying for this opportunity. And it will go ahead really quickly and without great loss of money, and they'll have a show at the end. So it's not like it's like dollar signs in the eyes. It's just like, oh yeah, we'll have a piece by the end of this, but not thinking about what else might be, what the cost of that might be along the way.
I think that's very apt to say that it is a slightly different system to the capitalist system, but I would say that it's a system which is heavily influenced by ideas of capital production.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. It's a kind of a transposing of the idea of valorizing capital onto a model which, you know, is slightly more public funded, slightly more whatever. But yeah, great. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mademoiselle.
Monsieur, we ran out of card on yours.
Our new plan was to do 20-minute episodes, but that's not obviously the case anymore.
We've been talking for 40 minutes. We'll probably cut some stuff.
But it was all really good, so it doesn't really matter. We probably won't cut any of it. Bye!
Bye!